Greetings, Lucky Legends. Welcome to the dojo. My name is Lucky, this is Lucky Lad TV. I'm your host of this video, and it's time for... I don't really know what to call this. It's not a slog out because it wasn't me being stupid. It was somebody else being stupid. But I was on my way to the Who's Savi meetup, which is... It was the meetup that took place in Orlando, where you could meet Avi, Sunny, and Chaos. So I was on my way there, and things were going fine. Things were going so fine. So I was on I-10 going east, because I live in New Orleans, so you have to go east to get to Florida. So I was on I-10 east, I was going east, and I was in my car. I was in the far left lane. Well, there were only two lanes at this point. I was in the left lane. In front of me was a pickup truck. I believe it was white or red. I can't remember which. In front of the pickup truck was a golf cart. And I know what you're thinking. Golf carts can't drive highway speed. That's correct. They cannot. The golf cart was attached to an RV. And I know what you're thinking. RVs can drive highway speed. Yes, they can. The RV, however, was attached to an SUV, which was, I believe, blue. So you have an SUV with an RV attached to that by the little trailer hitch, with a golf cart attached to the RV by its trailer hitch. So you have three things in a little train. There's a rest area up ahead, and apparently the SUV need to hit up that rest stop. So they start shifting into the right lane, which is fine. Do you, man. If you want to shift into the right lane, shift into the right lane. However, some dude in some other car comes screaming down the right lane, and the person in the SUV couldn't see them, so they hear a honk and then a really loud vroom because that car passes them when they should not have. They should have waited for that person to merge and then just waited like a normal person. So, basically, this means that in order to avoid a collision, the SUV, with the two things attached to it, has to swerve back into the left lane. Which is fine. That's not a problem. If you're only in one car. However, if you are in an SUV, you have one pivot point, which is whichever axle has the driving wheels. Most cars have either front wheel drive or rear wheel drive. So the one set of wheels is just static. It rolls, but it does not rotate back and forth. So that's one pivot point, which is fine. Having one pivot point is fine. You're not gonna swerve all over the place from one pivot point. However, when you add an RV to that, you have the RV's pivot points, which I don't know if RVs have four-wheel drive. I'm gonna, for the benefit of the doubt, let's say it only has one. So then you have two pivot points. And then you have the golf cart, which have two of their own pivot points, because golf carts are four-wheel drive. So now you have four pivot points. And you're thinking, alright, 4 pivot points, that seems like a lot, but it's manageable. Well, you also have to remember that the trailer hitch, and it's going to go back to face cam for this. The way that a trailer hitch works is that you have two hooks, and they hook together. One's a hole, one's like a ball. And they hook together. And the thing is that they can go side to side. Not much, but they can go side to side. Because there are these little things that sort of block them from going side to side too much. But they can still go side to side a little bit. So, you went from one pivot point on your SUV to 6 pivot points. Here's the problem with having 6 pivot points. When you make a very erratic movement, the pivot points receive that motion in a wave. First pivot point, followed by the second pivot point, followed by the third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. And when you realize that, you have to adjust. So in order to adjust, you have to turn the wheel the other way, which, again, creates more motion traveling down that line. So now you have 6 pivot points which are not synchronized. You have the first pivot point, which is your SUV, the second pivot point, which is the trailer hitch. And let's say that one's pretty close to being synchronized. The farther you get down the line, the less synchronized it is. So the trailer hitch, let's say that's, 80% synchronized. Then you have the RV. Let's say that one's 60% synchronized. 60% is still pretty good. It's not that much of an issue. It's an issue, but, it's manageable. Then you have the next trailer hitch. That one's down to easily just, 40. Then you have the first set of wheels on the golf cart. That's down to 20 easily. Then you have the last wheel of the golf cart, which is just completely unsynchronized. Because the further down you go, the less synchronized it gets, and the more erratic the movement is. Long story short, the golf cart detached from the trailer hitch. So the golf cart is now free. The golf cart is free. The golf cart has been granted freedom. However, normally this would be fine. Normally, let's say you're dragging something behind your car and the trailer hitch just breaks, so now it's just following you. It's decelerating, but it's following you. It's following in that straight line. Or maybe it'll veer off a little bit and end up in the grass or something. That's fine. But here's the problem, is that the golf cart's front and back wheels were not synchronized because of all of the different motions and forces that were acting on it. So, I'm just going to put this very simply. The golf cart exploded. I don't mean a ball of fire exploded. I mean the golf cart literally ripped apart. It was in at least 20 different pieces. I know because one of those pieces was flying towards my car, and I had to swerve out of the way to avoid it. The golf cart just shredded itself. All 4 of the wheels went in different directions. The top of the golf cart was way over somewhere. The rods that hold up the top of the golf cart were somewhere else. This golf cart was just no longer existent. It was gone. Everybody was fine. Nobody got hurt or anything like that. No cars got injured except for the golf cart, obviously. But this is just a public service announcement. First of all, if you're going to tow something behind your car, only tow one thing. It's bad enough that you're towing anything. And second of all, if for some absolutely ridiculous reason you feel the need to tow more than one thing behind your car, use support rods so that everything is in the same line of motion. Create as few pivot points as possible. Because here's the thing. The more pivot points you have, the more a very small motion will create a lot of force on the back end. So please, this is a Lucky Lad PSA. Don't tow shit behind your car unless you know what you're doing. Which clearly this person did not. But that is your little story for today. I want to thank you all so very much for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe down below. It's very much greatly appreciated. But with that, I'm going to get about. Best luck out there. I will see you all soon. Goodbye.